Hey, is this thing on? Hello. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Kevin Show. I am so glad you're here. I'm so glad I'm here. And we're going to get into this cover reveal in just a second. But first, you got to watch this. Here to distract you. I am Kevin Tomlinson. This is The Kevin Show. That makes a lot of logical sense if you really stop to think about it. If I were on, like, say, The Bob Show, the whole world would be out of whack. How is everyone doing? I'm really enjoying myself right now. The things have just continued to progress. I have been busy with all kinds of stuff, but especially busy with finishing this book, and so I'm real happy to have this out. I've been working on this. This normally I get a book done very quickly, and this one actually started. Oh man, before the new year, really, technically. I jumped right in right after the last book, after Sleeper's War released. I jumped in and started writing this one. And normally I'd have it done in like a 30-day stretch, maybe a little over a month if I really wanted to take my time with it. But this time, with the holidays, with some conferences and things that happened immediately after the holidays, and then while I was in San Francisco, I ended up getting sick, and we do suspect, but can't yet prove that it may have been COVID-19. But I came back pretty sick, was down for 3 to 4 weeks, and then immediately after that, workload picked up for a brief bit, and I had to start packing and getting ready to move out of the apartment so that Kara and I could move into a camper, which we have not yet done because, I mean, almost as soon as we had the apartment packed up and ready to go, they wanted everybody to sort of shelter in place. So we've been bunking out with the in-laws for the past month, and we may be hanging around here till the end of May. And then we're going to get on the road. So, but the whole thing basically got off the rails there for a bit. So I was able to get back into the book. I had to go back, reread, catch up, get myself back into the headspace. And then, boom, we were done. I'm technically, I'm still editing. I'm still going back and doing some slight rewrites and everything, but I've sent the book off to my street team, and they're going to look at it and yell at me for all the things I've done wrong. I've already gotten some notes from a couple of folks telling me stuff I did wrong in the prologue. So we're going to get it together. So let me pop over here because first of all, we got some folks dropping by to say hi. Pre-ordered. You spoiled it just a little, but no, yes, not really. It's out there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, a bunch of books coming out, a bunch of all kinds of crazy stuff coming out right now. This show is a direct result of the pandemic because I just got so stressed out and worried about everything, and then decided, it's not worth it. We got to have some fun. So for 30 minutes each week, we get to have a little fun. Julie says, going crazy staying home, but scared to go out. Love Dan Kotler. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that whole notion. Being a little afraid to get out there. Exposure to the virus is that can be a little frightening. But so, stay home. Be safe. Get your groceries delivered. We have, I don't know where everyone is, and I don't know what you have available locally, but we have H-E-B here in Texas, and they are delivering groceries. Every time we place an order, it shows up on schedule, more or less. They had a little technical glitch today, so things got a little bit delayed. But yeah, it's been great to be able to just kind of sit back. I really think stuff like that is going to become the new normal. Like, I think before we were all a little hesitant to try, like, groceries delivered, and now it's going to become the new normal. And delivered booze too, which I think that's interesting. Chris Stevens says, "Glad you're healthy again." Thank you, Chris. I am. I've been healthy now for a couple of months, so I'm doing great. And in fact, just after that, I had a little bit of a health scare from my cardiologist. My blood sugar was like outrageously high. My blood pressure was outrageously high. There was some scary talk, and I just shifted and started eating healthier and getting exercise. And I've already dropped about 12 pounds since that started. So I'm looking a little better, feeling pretty good. I went and had my checkup, and all my numbers are where they're supposed to be now. Everything's normal now. Apple cider vinegar. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what's in this cup right here. I poured some apple cider vinegar. Hold on. Tangy, but it's also water. So I don't do the straight ACV anymore. I used to do it for a while. Chris also adds, "Me too, Julie. I'm behind with the Dan K, but trying to catch up." If you are, and thank you, by the way, to both of you. I'm really happy when people tell me they like the books, because I do work very hard on them, and they are a big part of my life. Dan Kotler's birthday is coming up on May 9th, so mark your calendars. I should do something to mark that occasion, shouldn't I? What do you guys recommend for that? I should do something to celebrate Dan Kotler's birthday. I was going to originally set this pre-order and release for that day, but I decided instead to set it for May 23rd, which is Kara's birthday, and gives my my street team a little more time to be able to help me out with it. We have Publix and Instacart delivers, and I love it. No problems at all. See, there's stuff like that all over the country. So I'm going to hop over to, because some of the comments don't show up on my little thing, so I don't get to pop them on the screen, but I'm seeing some people here. So we got a couple people watching. Arlene and Daniel are both watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to occasionally refer to this phone in case any of you are commenting on the one channel that for some reason won't pop up in here. So okay, so I'm gonna kind of truck along here, and you are free to ask me anything at all during this show. We're gonna end at 3:00 Central, so that's in the next like 22 minutes. And I will be revealing the cover. I'm gonna just tease it out just a little for now, because I don't want to give away the whole thing. And then what do? We sit around. Everybody's got to sit around staring at me for 20 minutes. I'll probably end up doing that anyway. But if you have questions about anything, about Dan Kotler, about the series, about my, how I write, why I write, anything like that, or anything else, we've got the whole camper thing coming up. So if you've got questions about the whole RV lifestyle, why we're insane enough to want to do that, and what our inspirations were there, feel free to ask. I'm here for you. I wore my NASA t-shirt. Let's see if I can get that on camera. Hold on. There we go. Wore that for you guys because you are out of this world. I should have worn a Wisconsin cheese hat because I am very cheesy. So, aside from the book, okay, so I actually finished the actual draft and finished I have something at the end that I call a note at the end. And it's like a afterword from the author. And I started writing about, and I'll spoil this part a little. You can read the actual note if you pick up the book. But one of the things that I wrote about was, in some of the previous books, I had introduced a character named Senator Acosta, and she's based loosely. I mean, I took some traits, a few traits, especially her political platform, from Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC as she's known. And this led a lot of people I actually got negative reviews for introducing this character. And it was really funny because they would say things like, I really love this book. I loved it. It was a page turner. I couldn't put it down. It kept me up all night. And then I got to the author's note at the end, and he said that character was loosely based on AOC. And so I'm going to give this 1 star. Politics have no place in thrillers. I think that's pretty funny. For one thing, I've never read a thriller that didn't have some form of politics in it. But also, I didn't actually tear this person down in the book. And in fact, my plan all along, and I've played this out, and if you read the books, you see this, but I slowly redeem her as a character, and I don't change her. Like, I don't change her platform. I don't change the fundamentals about who she is. What I do is change the way the other characters relate to her and see her over the course of 3 books. So that was all intentional. So for those who did not like that character and got mad at me, I hope you'll continue to read the other books. I'm not changing anything. If you've known me for any length of time, you know, you getting mad at me ain't going to change nothing. In fact, it might just make me dig my heels in. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing I actually do quite a bit. I've developed over the years. I mean, when I first started writing books, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. You know, I did some things purely on instinct that worked. I did some things that I thought were good that ended up not working, and people let you know about that stuff in the in the reviews and things like this. This is another reason that reviews are important. Although I do have some author friends, my good friend Ernest Dempsey, is an excellent thriller writer. He never reads his reviews. He also never rereads his books, which I think is a little odd. Hold on. ACV water all the way. So he doesn't read his reviews, and that saves him a lot of stress. I read all my reviews, and I have to say, I get the occasional negative review, but I've been very blessed to have very positive reviews on my work since day one. So I don't mind reading them. I don't always get an ego stroke out of it. But I don't mind reading the negative reviews either. Got some things popping in. Okay. Got some folks popping in now. So that's an interesting option. It's asking if I want to bring people on camera. I do not, but thank you. It's Facebook or whatever's recommending that. All right. So I don't want to wait too long to do this. I'm going to pop in now. I'm going to share. Let me go. I'm going to have to actually move over. I forgot to share it before we started. I'm going to reveal the cover, and then we're going to talk about it. So get ready. Set your jaws to dropped. Actually, I hope you like this. So here we go. Rolling in 10, 9, 8. Let's skip ahead a little. 3, 2, 1, and cover. There we are. What do we think? All right, let me pop this up a little full screen right now. This is full screen as it wants to go. So here we are, The God Resurrection. And this is, if you read any of the previous books, I had one titled The God Extinction. And so this is a sort of a natural bookend to the concepts and ideas that popped up in that book, along with some of the things that came up in, the Hidden Persuaders, The Sleeper's War, those books in between. Those were, there was a through line that I've really kind of been developing for a long while in those books. Here, it's probably better if I put that bigger, huh? So now that is the full cover. Let me read you the text. So the headline here is Ancient Myth Meets Dark Science, and Gods and Kings Will Rise Again. So mysterious. Following the events of the God Extinction and the Hidden Persuaders, Dr. Dan Kotler finds himself embroiled in a plot that turns out to be the family business. Kotler's grandfather, Richard Kotler, has resurfaced along with 36 genetic samples stolen from various archaeological dig sites worldwide. Using a new dark science and the resources of an ancient order bent on world domination, Richard intends to resurrect gods and kings and unleash them on the world. Kotler and his FBI partner, Agent Roland Denzel, race to Göbekli Tepe, the Turkish dig site harboring the oldest known temple in the world, to track down one of the last keys to stopping Richard's plot. Will they unravel the mystery in time, or will the gods once again walk the earth? The God Resurrection is the 11th full-length novel in Kevin Tumlinson's Dan Kotler thrillers. Number 11. That is astounding, even to me, that I am 11 books into this. So here's the just the image of the cover itself. Let me pop that up full screen for you for a second. And for those of you who may not know, I do all my own cover design. That's another blessing I have, is that I have a design background as well as the writing background. And so, I build in Photoshop. I use a lot of stock photography. One day I'm going to borrow a page out of like Mal Cooper's book and go do like a professional photo shoot and actually get some stock in my own stock library of figures doing certain things. I have a huge need of people in silhouette. I need photos of people doing various things in silhouette, especially like, they're back to you. Well, they're front to you as well. Some of my covers, you look at a lot of the covers have a figure in silhouette on the cover. And I need people running, and I need people holding guns, and I need people dressed in adventurer gear. So a lot of that stuff is out there, and you can look around, but then the downside is that stuff gets used by everyone else, all the designers making covers out there. So it may not have a fully original feel. But what I do is I like to composite a whole lot of images into one master image. And in this one, I actually had a version of this that was just slightly different. If you look on the walls of the little tomb there, there's some like etchings and some painted language and things like that on the walls. Down at the character's feet, I mean, there's that DNA strand thing coming up. That was always part of the image, but I put a little bit of like green smoke down there for some atmosphere. All those little details add texture to the image and make it a little more visually appealing, a little more fun, a little more thrilling, a little more exciting. So that is the cover. That's available. It'll be releasing May 23rd, 2020. That is Kara's birthday. So wish her a happy birthday by making us super rich. And I would have, you can find it on Amazon for pre-order right now. At the time that I pulled all this together, they didn't yet have the link ready, but I think if I go there now, yes. So I can actually grab, I believe, this link, and I will drop it into the comments. Theoretically. There we go. And so if you are in the comments on either Facebook or YouTube, you can feel free to click that link. And if you're watching, there we go. So I know that's a long string of characters, but that's Amazon. I didn't have time to make a fancier looking link. So you can go pop over and pre-order right now if you want. And I've got it. I try to release my pre-orders at a discounted price, so like $2.99 typically. So if you have a chance, go over and check it out. I appreciate it. So now I'm gonna pop over here to comments, and please feel free to ask me anything. Ask me about the cover, the design stuff, the writing, whatever. That's part of why we're here. So we got about 10 minutes of show left, so you got plenty of time. But I'll pop up at least some comments. I always love your books, even if I don't always agree with your opinions. Being exposed to the opinions of others is part of why I read, and that's my point, right? Because I don't agree with Ocasio-Cortez, but I don't hate her for her position. I don't agree with like 99.9% of her platform, but being exposed to her message makes me stop and think. And because I do that, I sometimes change my mind about stuff. I'll never get on board with socialism. I'm just too close-minded, and I've seen too much evidence of that being an abysmal failure. Whatever. But I'm not opening this up for debate about it. You are welcome to stick to that principle and that belief if you want, and I won't try to persuade you if you don't try to persuade me, and we'll be good. But here's the thing about AOC that I like. I may not agree with anything she says, and I may even think that a lot of her like Instagram stuff and Twitter posts are insane. I also think Trump's Twitter posts are insane. And I'm not a Republican, by the way. Guess my political persuasion. But the thing about AOC that I do like is, she's a fresh face, fresh blood, fresh ideas in a body that needs new blood. The way the government works, it's been locked into sort of the same old rut for a very long time, and things that clearly do not work are still out there as if they're brand new ideas, as if they're going to work someday, but we know they're not. And so she has, whether or not I agree with her, she's become a force for change for the better. I don't agree with her, but she's still doing some good work out there. So the character that I've loosely based on her is essentially the same way, which is why I'm not touching her principles and trying to sort of correct her and make her my version of who I think AOC should be. I'm trying to show that even though we don't agree with people, we can still learn from each other, and that makes us better. Lesson endeth here. Julie says she loves it. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. I also love it. And she also wanted to throw in that she has pre-ordered plus downloaded the ARC. Thank you. I never ask you guys to do that. Julie is on my street team, and they do get the book for free. No, don't ask me. I have guidelines for when I add people. Right now, I'm not adding people. Before I get 10,000 emails, I don't want you to be disappointed when I say no. So, but that's the cover. I hope you dig it. The process, the idea. So this was actually a tough one. A lot of times I come up with a cover concept and I just grab images, and I have at times built my covers within like an hour of tweaking and tooling around design. Sleepers War was like that. That cover was very much I mean, I love how it turned out, but it was a sort of almost quick and dirty design in a lot of ways. If not like neglected, I did the work. But here, let me see if I can. I almost made a mistake. We almost said goodbye a little early because I almost goofed. But let me pop that in there. So that's Sleepers War. That's the previous book, which is still available. I've got some of the prices reduced a little right now because I'm trying to help people out during the pandemic. So that one I believe is on a reduced price right now, which does cut me a little. I won't lie, but it also makes me feel pretty good that people are able to experience the books. Prior to this one, let's find it. There it is. Got to make sure I don't drop this somewhere it doesn't need to be. This is Hidden Persuaders. Same sort of deal. And if you notice, there's a similar theme to the God Resurrection. And that's because this was the book where I sort of introduced the idea, and I introduced the 36 genetic samples and Kotler's grandfather. So I don't want to spoil anything. I may have already. But those concepts are in here, and this was 2 books ago. So sorry. But the reason I went with similar themes is because I wanted to tie back to this visually, so that there was a kind of cue. So the God Resurrection, that's one cue. It goes back to the God Extinction. So there's a book in there. The DNA strand and the capital are another cue. Then we got this mysterious figure kind of marching off into the water there, out of this cave, which is, this. I love contrast and juxtaposition when it comes to that sort of thing. And if you notice also in this cover, things are not quite balanced. Like things are just slightly off center. The little tomb exit there is slightly off center. The guy walking out of it is slightly off center, and that's intentional too. So there we are. I hope that was fun. I got 4 minutes left. If you want to ask anything at all, feel free. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to me. Actually, everybody here, if you don't mind, if you go to youtube.com/C/Kevin Tomlinson. Actually, I hear now that you can just do /Kevin Tomlinson. But if you go there and you subscribe, I'm trying to get up past that 1,000 subscriber mark, because then I can do some fun stuff like monetize my videos and things like that. And that's very helpful to me, especially as we get on the road. So the videos, I'm doing one of these a week right now. So you can go and see the past episodes, and I bring guests on and we talk. We just have a good time. There's nothing serious about this show. This is probably the most serious one I've done, and it's largely just because I have this pre-order coming up, and I wanted to be able to share it with people in a fun way. So rather than doing a cover reveal just to my email subscribers, I wanted to spread it out a little. But if you do want to get on my mailing list, you can get a free book. And in fact, if you go to kevintomlinson.com, right there, a pop-up will come up eventually, but there's also little boxes there. And you can sign up and get on my mailing list, and you'll get a free book called The Janai Sigil. And that is actually the start of this current run of books, because in that little short ebook, and it is short. I mean, it's like maybe a third of the length of one of my regular novels, maybe not that much, but it is free, and it does introduce the Knights of Janai, which are a secret order I invented. But in that book, I set things up that I slowly have paid off over the next several books, and there are still some things that will come out of that. A character I introduced in there, Granger, plays a significant role through several books. So it's fun and it's free. So go check that out, kevintomlinson.com. You can also get there at dankotler.com, which that'll take you to the book page for the series. So, I see some comments. Let's pop on over. Let's see. Sherry says, beautiful cover. Thank you, Sherry. What program are you using for the split screen and graphic? I am using a streaming service called StreamYard, StreamYard.com. So and they have a little duck logo. So you'll know you're in the right place, and they'll stream to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. If you get a paid account, you can stream for free to one channel, Facebook or YouTube or elsewhere, one channel at a time on their free account, and it's branded with their little duck logo. Let me see if I've got that here. Yes, it'll have that logo. It just popped up in your upper right screen, and you can't get rid of it until you have a paid account. And I do have a paid account. I can go to like 5 places at once. I haven't found a real solid use for that one yet. But there you go. Let's see. Julie says, great cover. just like all the rest are awesome. Thank you, Julie. I make all my own covers. I love that part. That's kind of the way I finish the book. It's not a typical thing. Most indie authors, I don't believe, are able to do their own covers. And I don't always even recommend it for some folks. You need to be, there's a certain amount of psychology that goes into this. Melinda says, I love your books and I can't wait to read this one. Thank you, Melinda. And I hope you enjoy it. It is available for pre-order. So thank you for your support. And Sherry threw in here, very talented then. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Talent is nurtured. That's my theory. Talent is something you design into yourself. So, all right. Well, we're at 3:00, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up. I have loved chatting with you. Thank you so much for the kind words about the cover and about my work. I hope you continue to enjoy them, and you can find that pre-order. Let's see. Did I put it up there again? Boom. There we go. I know that's a scroll, but if you scroll up in the comments in this video, it'll be there. And then eventually what I'll do is make sure it appears in the show notes for the thing. So, but that's it for now. That's been the Kevin Show. I hope you have been appropriately distracted. I always enjoy talking to you guys, and I'll have another one of these next week. So stick around. And if you get on my mailing list, I'll let you know when that's going to be. They don't always appear at the same time. So, but I appreciate all your support. God bless each of you. We're going to play this little video, and then I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye.